Welcome back to the podcast, Jack Moody, Kate Bevilaqua and Guy Crawford, my new podcast guests and hosts on the show. To you, Kate, first, obviously, you're an Ultraman. I have not paid you to do this, to fly to Noosa, to stay there for the 3 days. Yeah. Like Chris said to me, she said, I wonder if Kate got any footage. And I said, it's a bit early to send her with a video camera, doing post-race interviews and stuff like that. But good. Well, are you keen?
I could have done that, but it is over now. So, but for future reference, of course I'd do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Chris, I'm in, Chris.
Yeah, budget is endless.
Do you know... Of the two people, not Tex, that I would ask to do that, you are the only one. There is no way in the world I'm sitting by with a video camera and the responsibility of interviewing them. You'd be like, did you do it? What?
Yeah.
It's
in
not
one ear, out the other.
And the lawsuits that would follow. Oh, golly.
I think it's called stalking nowadays, isn't it? Is it called? Well, okay. What about Ultraman? It's finished. Yeah. Okay. The big news is no one beat your course record. Oh, nice.
Well, look, it is nice, but like I said, it will eventually go. That's what records are there. They're there to be broken. But there was a lovely Kiwi athlete, Brittany Litton, who did some podcasting before the event and said her goal was to break the bike course record. But I held on to it she was 6 minutes, lost a little bit in the last section. So I will take that. But Kiwi ladies, there was a lot of Kiwi ladies, Kiwi men, but a lot of them come over because the next big Ultraman event in Asia Pacific is for the first time in New Zealand in December. So I think they're coming to have a practice run and then they're all saving it for Wanaka in December.
Yeah. Wanaka in December. Run. Yeah, practice ultra. Yeah. I know a few people that have done a number of those. How many have you done, Kate? How many ultras?
3.
3. So which ones?
I did Canada. Well, it was Ultra 520 Canada, and then I did Ultraman Hawaii.
That's right.
And then Ultraman Australia.
That's right. Remembering that Ultraman Hawaii is the World Championship, so isn't it?
Correct. Yes. Yes, I won that.
How did you go on those?
Ultraman Canada. For Canada, I was the first female in history to win an Ultraman event outright. Hawaii, I did win in 2016, and then now I have the course record in Australia.
Okay.
So,
well, it's not all about you, Kate.
Guys, what have you done?
No, I was just going to say, who was in your crew? Because they must be damn good.
Yes. at all those races.
Yes. All those races, he crewed all 3.
Okay. Yeah.
So I feel like I won those as well. So my CV gets bigger by the day. I should add that to my signature on my email.
Ultraman crew member. But you're not flying over at this stage to help Jack prep or to pace him through the Hawke's Bay Marathon at this point in time. Although, it is in the budget. Yeah, obviously we just need to turn a profit at this stage, and we'll do it under the auspices of the podcast. But Tex, how did the last key session go? We're going to find out more about Ironman Australia, but last key run session on the weekend, you got ditched by some of your training partners.
Yeah, it's always pretty tough to get all the Sunday battlers together amongst injuries and the likes. And one of them's a doctor, so you never get him 2 weekends in a row, because if he's turned up to one, he's on night shifts the next. That's kind of the way it goes. Oh, and then it's UTA this week coming in Australia, so he's off to do that as well, which is cool. So he'll be chasing Vert anyway.
Okay.
Jono's going to do Hawke's Bay with me, so he was the only one that turned up, but he was fresh off cross country the day before, so probably tired legs. And then, it was a bit of a shambles, but it was cool. Got the last run done. Nice to just sort of keep rolling through and build the momentum for Cairns, but nice to have something to look forward to this week by going down to Hawke's Bay and doing a race that we've been to so many times.
Does the budget extend to a pacer?
for 400 meters.
Yeah.
What have you got, Guy? What's your question?
Thank you for seeing my hand up in the air. For those that are listening, I put my hand up to ask a question. What was the session? Just so I know, like, roughly how fast I need to run the first 200 meters.
They were like 90 odd minutes, just warm up, like kind of run sort of Auckland, like Domain, if you know the Domain, and then round down onto the waterfront. And then we come back through Glendowie, Remuera. And that way, it's like 90 minutes. And then I just ran 10 kilometers sort of tempo, just around the 1 mile loop. And the Domain, just trying to be as cruisy as possible, but on it. 1 mile loop's pretty flat. It's got a couple of little, but like as flat as you'll really get, because that's what Hawke's Bay's will be. So kind of the 2 mile loop's got way more sort of
undulation.
Not big undulation, but I use it for like a Taupo cret because it's got some rollers on it just to sort of break the rhythm. But the 1 mile one, you've just got to stay on it the whole time.
It also adds up perfectly to 10Ks, doesn't it? From that little start finish area where you come from, because I noticed in the file, it was like, I got another little record come through for 10Ks, and I'm like, oh, it's 10Ks on the nose.
No, it doesn't. It's the 1 mile loops. Unfortunately, not 1 mile, it's like 1,500.
Damn John Walker and Arthur Liddell from back in the day.
It's awesome because like in the Domain, there's like 100-meter markers just spray painted on the ground. So it's like, it did get a little bit tedious doing 6.5 or whatever laps it was to make it work to get to 10K. And then I kind of just cruised around the last bit to finish up at the car.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a handy little loop to have in Auckland that sort of traffic free, or close enough to traffic free that you can just sort of blast it around there. And it's a pretty well known running loop in the Auckland scene.
How far was that run total?
34 Ks.
35, yeah.
Yeah, 34 Ks. And he did a 32. I know this actually. He did a 32.40 again for the 10Ks, and he would have been right on the top of zone 3, bottom of zone 4 heart rate. So not quite at threshold, probably going 95-ish%, but that's pretty comfortable for him. And we did a lactate test a few years, well, not a few years ago, actually, a number of years ago. Yeah.
We had one last year.
Last year, sorry. Yeah, that was very encouraging. That's when we knew that with the right amount of durability, Jack would be in a good position to run under 240 for the marathon off the bike, because he doesn't really build lactate even. No, he'd been well under 2 millimoles of lactate, even running at that kind of pace. So, yeah, you can crunch the numbers there, Mr. Crawford, and maybe stay at home next weekend.
I secretly knew that you guys were going to pay for my flights. So I booked them already because I know Jack's like frothing to have me down there. He needs a high athletic caliber for that first 400. So I've booked them, and I'll just invoice you and invoice Fitter to reimburse me plus 10% for miscellaneous charges.
Of course, yeah. Like the stipend for drinks and food and stuff like that would be equally the same amount as the cost of the flight.
Yeah, that's right.
But would it be like one of those 400-meter track races where the pacer goes around for like 3/4 of it and then pulls to the side of the track? Or are you thinking first 200 and you just weave off to the side of the footpath, just going, my job here is done?
To die somewhere. Actually, Jack, I did 10 400s on Thursday in preparation for this. Got a few guys down for Singapore. I was like, I'm doing 10 400s because I need the speed for Jack for next week. And I ran the last 400 at 3:01 per K pace. And my bulging disc in my back flared up so bad that I have not been able to do a single session since then.
He's been in bed for 2 days.
I have been in bed for 2 days. I'm so crippled. But
I'm
the
good.
positive side is the flights are still booked, so I'm still coming. So I'm sure everything will be fine. But 3:01 per K pace. Whoa.
Yeah. You're just riding that wave from being fifth at the Australian long distance championship. You're a runner now. Did you message Matt Burden and just say, look, mate, if you will need me for a few of the long runs and prep for Cairns, it's either Jack or you that I can sort of sign up with it, either one?
Pretty much. I said, if you guys need to push someone in a wheelchair around for a little bit, this guy's your man. Imagine the strength training Jack could get wheeling me through the domain.
Right.
The posterior chain.
Back to Ultraman.
Sorry.
A Kiwi male won it, and we had a Kiwi female win.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the Kiwi top 3 women were Kiwis.
Wow. Okay.
And it was really like that. It's not usually this close. The end of day 2, I think it was 4 minutes.
Yep.
Over like 17 hours, separated the top 3 women.
Okay.
Just 4 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was exciting for the ladies' race. Yeah.
Okay. So how did that end up panning out towards the finish? Was it that close all the way? Were they I know it sounds ridiculous, but within almost sight of each other, they sort of knew that it was coming down to that close at the finish? Or because it's a cumulative total, isn't it, over there?
It is.
Yeah.
And I think after the turnaround, I saw the top 2 coming back and, they knew, like Brittany was in the front, Nat you could tell that, and Nat was a little behind, and she could see her. So it was like, to have that 60 k's deep into her race is pretty brutal. But she ended up, finishing nearly 20 minutes in front towards the end. So Nat was a little bit stronger. Brittany was second, and Anna was third. So it was,
What
really
about
good.
the men's race? The Kiwis in is he 40 plus, like mid-40s?
Yeah, yep. And he came away with the best run of the day to have a pretty he won by over an hour to the next male athlete. So that run really set it up for him at the end of the day.
Thompson, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw I was watching the live stream as he was coming down Noosa Beach. Finishing on the soft sand sucks a little bit.
Oh,
do they run the full length of Noosa Beach to come from that end? No, they don't. Yeah,
enter a little bit and just come across the beach and then up. I mean, it's fantastic finishing in front of the surf club.
Oh yeah.
But he ran 6:51, I think it was 6:52. But it makes you realise, like, Simon's record is 6:07, I think it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So he set a pretty decent record.
Yeah, he did.
Do you know, Tex? I wouldn't say it's beyond you for one day doing something like that. You're a bit like
can you just tell me not to? I've got other stuff I want to decide. Yeah,
there's an ultra trail race in your future.
Yeah,
there's an ultra.
Yeah. I'd rather do that.
Yeah,
10K swim.
Yeah.
Once I'm done with you're not getting me 10K a week, a month.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. No. Well, when Guy talked about those 10-400s, I thought he was talking swimming. I had no idea he was talking about running. Mind you, the times they'd have been comparable.
Yeah, pretty similar. My swim and run speed's
about the same. So, okay, talking about speed then, team. Sam Long's claiming a IRONMAN 70.3 bike course record. I actually don't know why people do that, even reference what the individual splits were, but, it's a pancake flat course, and if you go close to 50 k's an hour, I would claim it. Yeah, no, I take that all back. I'd be talking about till the cows come home. But Sam Long over in America is a little bit like Paula Finlay when she races there. Very dominant. You bet your house that they're going to win the 70.3 American races. Yeah, guys got the. I don't know what Guy's got. Those
it's
people listening and not watching on the YouTube. Guy's obviously brought home an American emblem from his time in the US, which is a stuffed eagle.
No, it's not stuffed. It's like
would be a big no.
Yeah,
no, not stuffed.
That would be a big no.
Oh, okay. Is taxidermy? Is that not something?
Yeah, but you're not going to stuff an American icon.
Like,
so has he managed to get that from somewhere? Is that illegal, Guy? Is that girl illegal?
No, it's solid. It's like
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see. I thought it
heavy.
yeah.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So
so it's
But,
not a stuffed eagle.
okay.
Do you know, talking about Sam, talking about his great ride, Danny Lewis did exactly the same thing on her Instagram. Like, said how her ride was 2:04. I think that fits into the second fastest in the US. You know, where is it in the scheme of things? And someone got on and showed a list, and I think showed that it was 7th overall as the quickest, 7th fastest time. Yeah.
I saw Ben Canute after Ironman Texas, and this has to be for sponsors. Over the moon with his bike split, hadn't performed at a level he hasn't done for a number of years, and ran something close to 3 hours. So it's sort of like, for me, it's like, there's a number of people that could probably, if they didn't have to run, go and bike as hard, but it is what it is. It just shows you it's a fast course. And I think, Jack, you saw some of the Strava numbers, and power outputs weren't like off the charts for some of the speeds that were being ridden.
No, it was interesting. Like, Sam hasn't published his yet, but I saw Zorgnotti put his up, Durbrick and the likes, and I saw one athlete that he was about 5 minutes back from his bike split, but it was pretty low for a professional race. Obviously, the hills of the Gulf Coast are pretty high on
non-existent.
And the riding surface. Yeah. I saw someone comment, I was like, I'm surprised you found that much elevation in Gulf Coast, like on one of the things, because obviously it is pancake flat.
But don't you think the short and swim would have, like, how short?
Of course.
I thought I read it was going to be 1,000, but then we looked at the times, it was less than 1,000.
Yeah,
I think you were saying 600.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is still super short. And for some people it doesn't influence them, but I think some of those Uber cyclists that aren't strong swimmers, it actually does take a lot out of them. The likes of Lionel's always suffered from that. Sam Long and the likes. I think on a pure time trial, Sam is actually a bit of an animal. In the swim, he'd be one of those athletes who would swim to tracks from it.
Yeah.
I saw it didn't look that rough, but it's one of those ones with the swim with all this sort of not recent, but historical drama we've had with swimming and people getting caught astray. You don't want to cock it up, but it was pretty nice out there for the photos I saw.
I saw the videos. I don't know about you guys, but I looked at that and went, is that the day before the swim, or is it the day after? Because if that's what you're dealing with here, how careful are we becoming? Now, we know that we have to be careful nowadays for sure, but it didn't look horrific to me. It looked quite weird that those were the conditions that resulted in, especially for the professionals. See, I can see them doing it for the age groupers, but have we become even a bit too cautious as professionals? I don't know, Guy. What do you reckon?
I would say that professionals should be able to swim in most conditions.
Yeah,
and age groupers, if there's a wetsuit option, then put them in the wetsuit. I'm not sure if this race was wetsuit optional for age groupers or wetsuit illegal. Was it swim skin?
Oh, I don't think it looked at that.
It was not. It was swim skin, I think, for the pros. I don't know about. I think it was 23. It would have been in the vicinity. Yeah. I think it was the report on currents, like strong currents rather than shock, was the issue where they fell foul of, which would be a bit of a disaster, getting caught in a rip and ending up. I can see how that would make me rather alarmed.
Yeah, but again, though, rips don't always just come out of nowhere. Wherever you set the swim course up, there are generally historical parts of it that you'll already be aware of in terms of currents and that. It's not like, these rips sort of all came out of nowhere where we were going to run the swim. I would have thought they would have done their due diligence on it. Look, I haven't looked into it closely enough. It always just disappoints me when I think the pros should all be at a level of swimming ability where you maybe be able to get most swim conditions and still have the pro race, because it does change things for a lot of people. But again, like for Grace Alexander and obviously Sam Long, it was a great day out for them. Sam Long, he bullies that 70.3 scene in America a little bit, doesn't he? If Lionel's not there, Trevor Foley probably doesn't race often enough at the distance, and I don't know whether with a short and swim, he might have been another contender there. But 150, I mean, it's absolutely rocketing on the bike.
It's world tour speed, really.
It is
regardless of power.
Yeah.
Like that's 49k an hour. If you line them up in a Tour de France, like time trial stage for 90k, they'd be like, that guy's got some wheels on him. Like, there's no jokes about that. Like, he's moving.
Do you also think Sam benefits from these flatter courses where it's just pure power, the 20 metres? Because I don't know that he, Nice World Champs last year, the moment power weight comes into it a bit more, he's not quite as dominant. But just in terms of raw horsepower, it'd be interesting. Guy, you're one of the best drafters in the sport. If he came past you at nearly 50 k's an hour, what would your strategy be?
I mean, if I can take out the 20-meter rule, I could probably set like 20 millimeters off the rear wheel, and I might survive. I mean,
what was one of your comments when Jack sent the Strava files through? You said I could hold 300 watts for 90 k's nowadays.
Interestingly enough, last weekend in Bus, I had like 310 for 80. So I was like, 300 to me was like for guys that, if they're my size, which is 78 kilos, they could be more aero. They might have a better front end, but I'm like, 300's, that's not for around that 80 kilo mark. I'm like, it's not like Jack was saying, it's not super high level for how fast they were going. Obviously, those are probably the guys that are going in that 155 to 2 hour mark, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Is that right, Jack?
I've seen faster as well. Yeah. Around that. Yeah. But then it varies, and like everyone's got different, like you can't say that his powers, like you always look at when they pop them up for the T100 and it's like, Margin's got like one of the best power meters known to man. It's 400 the whole time. And he is, don't get me wrong, he's an absolute axe. Like he's always one of the fastest bike splits, but it's like the guy that got the bike split 1 minute slower is like 300 watts. I was like, you're either riding bolt upright or you've got the like dream confidence builder every time you get on the bike. And he's like, I wouldn't throw that power meter away. I'd keep that one around.
No, especially if you're someone who has a decent Strava profile.
It isn't the goal that with all this technology anyway to be going faster but with less effort. So over time, would we see less power numbers and them going faster? That's the ideal scenario.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what this illustrates for a lot of the age group listeners out there is a huge discrepancy in power readings from the different power meters out there based on the brands, based on where they're placed and positioned on the bike. There's certainly not an apples for apples, as Jack mentioned. Like you see two power numbers with only like 30 seconds difference between them on the bike course, yet 70 watts difference in terms of raw power output. But Tex, you mentioned front, or I think Guy mentioned I may not have the same front end as them. One of the things that came out of our chat group this weekend, and Guy mentioned it as well, and you work closely with this in the job that you do for Procreate here in New Zealand, is some of these people that are going for homemade front ends.
I thought we banned like the homemade 3D printed parts. I thought they had to be commercially available. I haven't read through the rules.
Well, they do.
I wouldn't touch them. Like honestly, like I'd use it for prototyping. I'd use it maybe for a wind tunnel test, not a velodrome test, but stuff's like, if you're a hobbyist at home, you're not going to, like, unless you're a really rich hobbyist at home, you're not going to have a printer that's printing out like material strong enough to actually have something structured. I remember in Larchie, some guy was like, I can't believe my bars snapped at 40k an hour because I'm riding this 3D printed cockpit. And I'm like, well, Sergio's like, the roads are too rough here. I was like, nah, you're not fit for purpose. Like, that just wouldn't hold up in New Zealand or Australia, like on most of the roads. It's like, you could use it as a shroud, and then it's kind of like you're very much just broken the rules. So it's kind of like a prototyping mechanism, and then you could use that to create a mold to then make something that's structural afterwards, or get it commissioned and use a 3D printing company like ride sink that's had the titanium printed parts in the past. Like, and even my first wheel cockpit is like, there's a carbon fiber monocoque, I suppose you call it, at the front, and then it's a 3D printed titanium riser. That's what adapts to the bike, and then each bike, had a few in the last couple of years, has had different titanium pieces to sort of match the model. So 3D printing, it's there and it fits the purpose, but it's like, where, yes, guy.
I think guy's got an athlete that he's about to strongly disappoint.
No, so yeah, I've got two guys actually. Their names are, let's call them Brett and Tita. Hello, Brett and Pete. So Peter bought a 3D printer, and that 3D printer was not good enough, and now hence 3D printer has gone in the bin. But now Brett has new 3D printer. So new 3D printer, and they're like talking around the script chat. They're like, man, we're going to make the fastest front end.
Peter's an engineer.
Like you can. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I know people, you'd use it for bottle mounts, like bento boxes, and it definitely serves a purpose. Also, those little Varia lights, because all the seat posts are like in shambles to fit them on. Like, they certainly, but anything structural that you're putting weight through, like, you're going to have to be pretty confident. Yeah, you've either got a really good printer or some pretty high-end material that you'd feel confident enough to put your body weight through. Because it's a pretty catastrophic result. Going off the bike at high speed. It's like too many chances at.
Do you think braking with my face is not a good idea?
Well, what bike were you looking at? That you said someone had put a shroud on. We were looking at an image of a bike that you sent through in the chat group. Was that a shroud, or was that actually a bespoke homemade front end?
From what I can understand from it, it looks like they've used like the old school ski bends and then built the structure around it. And that would be, that's logical. Like, that's like, you've got the shroud and you'd kind of hide behind the shroud, acting as the padding, which is the arm cups. And then the shroud would also act as the hydration system. So it would be very much like an old F1 manipulation of the rules, I imagine, where you could get around it. But as long as the structural integrity of what you're leaning on has got some support with the bars, surely you're in a much safer position.
Yeah. Look, we do want people to be safe out there, but I have seen some pretty interesting homemade jobs turn up in some transition areas. And you're right, Tex, IRONMAN last year, or was it the Kona the year before, when we had Ditliff turn up with half a dozen aftermarket parts that were bolted to his bike, and everyone went, well, hold on a second, you can't actually buy them anywhere. And that's what the rule you're referring to, isn't it? Is they have to be commercially available.
I need to look into it more. I know it's definitely the case with like proper cycling. And I know even like the track cycling scene next year, like they're putting a spend cap on it as well, because that was the other way people used to, like, I think the Japanese teams, like, you could buy the track frame for the Olympics, but it was $1,000. Not many people that good. Oh, and you had to wait like 3 years or something to get it.
That's commercially available.
That's how and they make like 3 of them. But now it's kind of like bring that cost gap down and try and make the sport a bit fairer.
Yeah. Well, look, there's plenty of stuff coming out of Asia in terms of bikes and so forth. I keep winding Jack up. Kate and Guy won't know this, but I keep flicking him through the latest Chinese bike off the back of some factory somewhere with some bling branding, and I ask Jack's opinion on it. So, do you think I'd look good riding around this in Towport? Do you think I'd be real fast on this? And I can see him just steaming away in the background. It's going, no, stick with the rock solid specialized road bike that I sold you last year, is basically what he's saying to me.
You only ride the trainer, so it's like...
Yeah, that is true. And I'm pretty aero on that trainer as well, and fast. Okay. Great racing at Gulf Coast. We've got Chattanooga coming up this weekend. There's a few people who are doubling up for that race as well. So we're going to have a little bit of chat about the upcoming races over the weekend, but we do have a couple of challenge races which are close to everyone's hearts here as well. And it really does sort of kickstart the challenge season in Europe, doesn't it, with the start to these races, with a couple going on at the same weekend. Did anyone follow the results from challenge? Kate, did you see those races?
I did. I briefly had a look at the results. I've been a little busy the last few days,
Well, you should have just said to your husband, can you keep up with it? Because I know that you needed to, obviously, you couldn't miss any training, obviously.
No, it was on an easy week. It was nice.
So you did manage to get like a 44K running?
No, my athlete Anthony was running for 84Ks today. So that was like, I just did some of it with him.
Okay.
But my some of it ended up being, yes, that much.
I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going. If you want to run 44Ks, I'll run 44Ks. Is that basically what you were saying to yourself?
No, I said once the rain comes, I'm out. So I got the sunshine, and then luckily I was back in the car before the pouring rain came through.
Okay, yeah, well then I'll throw it to one of the other two. Did anyone else watch the challenge races over the weekend?
Was there a way to actually watch them? I got the stories on Instagram and I got the results and had a look through. The stories weren't bad. It gave me a bit of a taste of what was going on and what was unfolding. I mean, it's pretty rare you get a challenge race with proper coverage other than Roth and Samarin and a few just rogue ones that seem to have it. But no, I thought it was pretty good racing. As you say, it did kind of kickstart the alternative European season that outside of that outside of the Ironman brand, and some sort of usual faces rising to the top.
Yeah, Will Draper. He's a pretty talented guy, isn't he? He won Almere last year, was it?
He had a breakthrough. He won just about everything last year. He was on the podium, if not, winning most things. After a bit of a rough, because he was part of the old leagues group.
That's right.
And then he's moved back to the Isle of Man, which should be an interesting place to train.
Yeah, but he's a bit of a weapon on the bike, isn't he? And a pretty solid runner.
Yeah. He was always a good runner, and he's become a good cyclist. And that was with that coup. That story didn't do great advertising. Well, I mean, he was winning, so good advertising for the coup, but it's a tough watch.
Can we digress into the coup? Because I feel like there's a story here. Hey,
no,
Jack,
what do you think? In the world of no, I'm not going to.
No, he's not going to. You can't draw him on that. I have some athletes who are proud owners of coups, and Jack knows these people, and he wants to remain friends with them. So
I was 3D printing him a bento box today.
There you go.
The purpose. It wasn't structural.
No,
I did try and write something down the side about the coup, which got vetoed by my boss, about how they look or the sort of rider that would.
I thought you were working on parking meters last time we rode together.
Top secrets. All
yeah, you can't give away everything he's doing at the moment.
The MI5 of the product design world, mate. That's all secret. Yeah. What we say is behind closed doors. Yeah.
So parking meters is like code word for aerodynamics.
For aerodynamic stuff. Yeah. 100%. Well, over in it was Salou where Will Draper won. We had Elisabetta Corridori take out the win there, and then there was another race over on the how do we say this? Who's going to give that a go? Challenge Cesenati show. Does that sound right? Do we know?
No.
Yeah,
we could just say Italy.
Challenge
Italy.
I would have said Italy.
Yeah,
nice.
I actually think someone ran a 108 there. It wasn't the winner either. I'm pretty sure I saw some feedback come through where
I did.
Did you see that?
No, I've just got it in front of me now.
Oh, okay.
Across the tip. 108 to 7.
Oh, that's handy.
Spicy. Yeah.
Well, they went pretty quick there because they've gone 3:35. The winner, Galdemir Solot, has gone 3:35, and Bridget Vernussen has gone 4:10. So looks like a pretty quick day over there. But it is good to see those challenge races kick off because that's a lot. That's where a lot of the, I would say, not just second tier pros in Europe, but a lot of people actually make a pretty good living out of going around all those races. And actually, as I say, I don't know if any of you guys saw the PTO news post the other day about the T100 and how little has been paid out so far.
I saw that.
I don't know, can I draw you guys on an opinion on that? You've just come back from Singapore. I know you weren't working directly for the T100, but in this day and age, that was a worrying news article. What do you think?
Oh, I think it was. I mean, I heard about that in March, and for a organisation that's about promoting but in the professional race, for them not to be paid yet from last year, that's a concern. Like, because where is the money then? They apparently, they talk about having the money, and we've got this great prize pool, but you're not giving it to the athletes. I don't. Yeah.
Well, it's also not just a little bit of the money. It looks like the vast majority of the money, when we saw the news articles go up at the end of last year of these athletes that are now making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars just out of prize money before you factor in sponsorship, and you're thinking, now these guys and girls might be making $1 million a year here, which is life-changing sort of income. And then you sort of hear, but hold on a second, about half of that's not actually turned up in their bank yet. And then we also get announcements of new sponsors. Like just recently, there's another sponsor come on board. And I just wonder what the vision is that's being sold here at the moment to the new sponsors, when the books aren't looking in good order at the back end, and the athletes that are absolutely fundamental to this being a success or not. We saw what happened with Martin Van Riel a year or two ago when he went public about it all. I'd love to roll into Andorra now and ask Hayden Wild what he's feeling about the T100, because he would have won Singapore, still waiting for last year. Would that be right?
Yeah, 5 months later, right? I mean, you can't do that in business. So it's I know when we had a couple of races, I know it was going back a long time now, once guy that we did in Malaysia that we didn't get paid for, and it took it was about a year later, and that was when the PTO did come on board and they paid us. They ended up paying us the money, and they would apparently dealing with the race to get the money from them.
They ain't getting that money back. That was like, they were just like, because that was like, the guy was like, no, the government hasn't paid me. I'm not paying you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But in the good old days of Asia, and even with the Challenge family, there were some difficulties way back when there were a lot of franchises offered out for offering up races and so forth that just weren't there to pay the bills. I mean, Tex, what's the longest time you've had between race victory outside of some other catastrophe? What would you say is a reasonable wait time? I'm not going to ask Guy because he's only waiting for $150 for ninth place. So, I mean, whether he gets that money or not is not going to break the bank.
I'll pay you, Guy.
Yeah.
I know, I never expect anything sooner than 90 days because they've always got that to hide, sit behind a drug testing, even if they can do drug testing at the event.
Yeah, even if they can do it.
Which is often the case. There's nothing, and you're like, oh, they're like, we've got to do 90 days. And you're like, that's odd. But I'm trying to think, there's 3 months. There's nothing that springs to mind over the years that was massive or that I had to. I know some have been difficult. I remember getting money out of China being tough. Having to pay the Chinese taxes and then kind of playing the game of not knowing how the New Zealand banking system worked and trying to pay it a different way or whatever. Yeah, that was harder than it needed to be, but that's the only real probably inconvenience I can think of.
Yeah. You'd be worried now.
I don't think I've been paid for PTO, but I don't know if I'm going to get paid because I don't really
for the
know
end of year.
Yeah,
for the end of year, but so you're in.
I'm in the contender rankings, but I didn't actually know because I don't know if I fulfilled. I don't even. It wasn't something I was going for last year. Just someone at the end of I think Pro Tri News put it up, and that was like, oh, you're 30 something, and whatever it was, and I was like, oh, I've actually fallen into that category without really.
Yeah, but it would still be. We're talking that contender series was still something like 1,500
US.
Wait, do you get a percentage of that, Bevan?
No. I'm basically a voluntary service here. but so you think
a TV guide?
Yeah, just basically a TV guide. Yeah, I do this for fun. So you would actually fall into that group of people?
Yeah. I feel that. Yeah.
Do you want me to follow up for you? I'll just send some emails.
Yeah, see if you can do it. Well, look, I mean, it's a segue from what
there's been a follow-up thing about it that we're not, like the contender series isn't due to be paid out till the end of June until they've paid the final year payments.
Okay, so you've received some form of correspondence to tell...
No. I was in the PTO announcement or whatever that came out last week.
So
after the Pro Train News article, there's another article that's come out saying the athlete payments will be processed this month for end of year, which is May, and then the following month is when the contender series and whatever other payments need to be paid out.
Okay.
What was I on there? Did you see my name?
Oh no, that's a pretender.
Yeah, I see where I'm going wrong. Fair point.
Yes, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Right, nice one, Jack. You landed that one perfect. We set that joke up really, really well. Okay, so let's talk about the races that are coming up. There's a few people doubling up. It may have been a shortened swim in the Gulf Coast, but have you guys done Chattanooga? Kate, Guy, have you done Chattanooga?
We were there when it was World Champs, 70.3 World Champ.
Okay.
We had quite a few athletes racing, and because at that time we were living in Boise, in Idaho,
right.
We went over and supported them. And the course looks epic. I love it. Looks like a great course.
Yeah.
I like
it's a great little town as well. It's like it's an awesome little town. Downriver swim. That's what I'm getting to. This is, I basically, my whole athlete roster are downriver specialists. I would like to take you back to Oregon, to Salem in Oregon, the 70.3 that no longer exists. The current was so strong. I was coaching Hannah at the time, and Jack, and we were all there for this race, that as we left the side of the river to swim out to the boys where it started, it would just sweep you downriver. You couldn't actually physically get out to the boys to do this practice swim. But Guy, you'll be particularly pleased to note that Jack led out of T1.
Not only was it a downriver swim, it was a massive uphill run to probably like a kilometre.
Perfect for you. Everything great. I want to know, what did you swim, Jack, for that?
He just floated.
It was under 20, like it might have been like 15 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I did the one and only Ironman New York, and that was downriver.
Okay.
36 minutes for my 3.8 kilometre swim. 36 minutes.
That's quality. Has Paul Newsom put that into a Swim Smooth block? Has he added that?
He might have used it somewhere, actually.
Has he updated to say, I took her from a 62-minute Ironman swimmer to a 35-minute Ironman swimmer?
What did Luke Bell was first out of the water too? What did he swim, Guy? Because you remember he was
low 30s, I think.
Like 30 minutes or something. Yeah.
Well, I remember when they had that California Ironman, Dan Plews set the fastest age group world time with something like a 37-minute swim. And I know Dan, I'm like, Dan, you cannot claim the fastest age group time. However, I do coach an athlete who will be racing pro, friend of the show and friend of Jack and mine. We did a training camp with Chris Beckmans, Aussie. He's based in London. He actually holds the fourth or fifth fastest Australian professional Ironman time of all time now. So he went 7:40 something in Copenhagen. So he's breaking out, starting his season. So we'll give him a shout out. But Tex, you were looking at the start list on the men's side of things at Chattanooga, and it's a little bit top heavy. It's not as deep as Gulf Coast, is it?
No, and especially with a lot of them doubling up, and then you don't even know who will, when you just throw a name on the start list. I think this can work on that start list. Like, you don't even know if you can capture it.
He's on every start list.
Yeah, I think Trevor Foley's on it, but I don't think he was intending on racing because he's driving to Boulder. Like, there's a few athletes that are on that sort of the top heavy side, but you're like pretty sure they're not doing it. But you'll have Sam Long, Ari Clow will probably be out for a bit of revenge. I think he got a puncture last in Gulf Coast.
Yeah, he did. He rode 155 and had a 4-minute stop to reseal his puncture.
Yeah. So no, I reckon, Beckinator. I'd love to see him go good there. He doesn't do many 70.3s, so it'd be cool to see him get one up in the States with the bit of dad strength now. Like a new father.
Yeah. Recently become a new dad, so we'll give him a
music listener as well. So he's
very
in the
big
right
country
neck of it.
music listener. I don't know what your guys' predilections towards country music is. Guy, Kate, do you like a bit of country?
I do not listen to country music.
Okay, all right. So you're not coming
I
to
just
Nashville.
listens to the voices in his head.
You're not coming to Nashville. Short drive up the road.
Wait, we've been to Nashville. We have been to Nashville, though.
Oh, yeah, but probably, for the drink and drugs, not for the music, though.
My husband, yeah, of course.
Now, but there's any of those. I actually think 70.3 Chattanooga is one of those marquee races on the calendar for a lot of the American athletes. They love that race, and I think rightly so. I think what Kate said is true. It's an awesome course. The road surface is not too bad. Downriver swim. Hopefully, they've had some difficulties with getting that swim underway every single time over recent years. But it is a really, really popular race. I think Paula Finlay's going to be starting. Jackie Herring's going to be starting. So a lot of the heavier hitters who may be not in Gulf Coast are going to be there. So that's a race to look forward to, but we return to the Pro Series as well. And we've got Provence, which Jack and I used as a training base before Ironman World Champs in Nice last year. And it's a cool town. We had a lot of fun staying there. And it's going to be an exciting race there. We've got a number of the big names coming back to race. Marjolaine Pierre, who won last year, Christian Blumenfeld. He's not doing it. He won in electric fashion last year as well. The town is awesome, and it's an interesting race. The reservoir where they use the swimmers, it's nice, it's easy. There's nothing really to talk about there from a conditions perspective that makes it difficult. But the bike course is an interesting one. There's more climbing on it than you would realise, and it's not really open roads, is it, Tex? It's pretty narrow and twisty in places. So this 20-metre draft rule is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is a random course. I don't know if we ever rode it all in one hit. And we were kind of confused when we first arrived in X to what we were signing up for, or where me and you just want to go and ride the biggest climb we can find wherever we go. And I was quite thoroughly disappointed. I was it's 15 minutes, each of them were quite small.
Short.
Short. Some of them were nasty. Some of them weren't, windy. Some of the road surface was average and just random little back roads out of nowhere that you're like, where's this come from? And we managed to link up some pretty cool riding over there, and that even translates onto the run. I hated running in X. Everything is uphill or downhill. There is no until the last week where I found some flat running down by the shopping mall or something, or the bus centre. And then everything else is just on a slope. The whole, not steep, just 3%, the whole town.
Yeah, it's an interesting place. Have you guys been to Aix-en-Provence? Do you know it at all?
Have not.
Okay.
No, we haven't been there.
It's almost like it feels like it's built on the side of the hill, and to try to find somewhere flat to run is not easy to do. And like Tex mentioned, none of the hills around there are particularly long. But the road surface can be mixed. And I remember watching the coverage of it last year. I remember them getting out of the water, and it took an eternity for it not to just be one massive long pace line. So how they're going to manage the 20-metre draft rule is actually going to be really fascinating over, a 70.3, especially a European 70.3, where I believe the quality of field is just a bit higher than what you'd get in North America. This is, me and Jack are going to say, we believe European racing at the professional level is a lot deeper on both men's and women's side than what we see in North America. You guys have lived in North America. Guy, what do you think? Is that a fair thing, or do you disagree?
No, I'd agree with that. I think mostly the sheer bike power and skill level of those guys and girls. Yeah, it's scary. The swims are roughly the same, I feel. You could be getting bashed up by an American dude, or you're getting bashed up by a Euro. It's the same anywhere. And then you just fall into a pace line in the water and come out. But then the bike is oh wow, are these guys serious? Or are we?
Yeah.
Obviously, we have our outliers like Sam Wong and stuff. They can axe it, but just the technical skill and the power output uphill. I was like, Ironman Austria last year, there were like 30 dudes, and I was riding at like 400 watts and 40k in, and like full of lactate, thinking they can't be serious. I trained on 270, guys. Did you miss the memo? And they did. They missed the memo because I got shelled out and spent the next 6 hours of my life wishing I was somewhere else. Anyway, that's another story. The short answer is yes, I agree with you and Jack.
Yep.
It's definitely harder in Europe.
Kate, do you think so?
Yeah, I agree with Guy. And it's just, and it does come down to their biking ability, because they all just generally live in locations where, they go out the door and they're going uphill or they're going downhill. So they're very strong, and then they have, fantastic skills.
Yeah.
And which we don't, we just don't have that environment. I mean, you guys have, great places to ride, but you don't have those mountains with the, the tight switchbacks or things like that. So it's, it's a different level. Hence why we were in the US.
and gents, you'd agree wholeheartedly. We've talked about this. We've I don't want to say that it's naive of us not to have realized this, but it's until you actually experience it that you actually realize that both the popularity of it and also the infrastructure of it in terms of the club scene and the number of coaching groups and, some of these clubs are paying full-time salaries to a lot of these athletes because they race in the French league or the Bundesliga, and they also do half Ironman racing. And Tex, what was our last race? Czech? Was it Czech? Was it the last outside of Nice?
Yeah, we did Hradec Králové.
That's right, we did too.
That wasn't as deep, but like there was just names that you hadn't heard of, and it's kind of, as we say, like this rising tide lifts all boats. Like it was on it, and these guys are now, some of them are on the T100 start list. Is it Bortolomeo, the Italian, and a few others in that race that I hadn't really probably knew roughly who they were, but hadn't taken much notice, and you're all of a sudden a very small fish in a big pond. You don't have that front pack, and it's like really hard to bridge.
And just the opportunity for them to race, like they can drive to another country and be there in an hour or two. So there are so many races, and there's so many half Ironman, half events that are not part of Ironman or not part of Challenge, but that they can go and do as well. It's just endless. Yeah, and I think that's the key, because I remember when Tex first made it into the pro ranks and then became competitive in the pro ranks, and I think we've said this a million times, and you guys probably experienced this as well, is it feels like an Olympic distance race. Everything's happening so much quicker than what age groupers experience when they're racing 70.3s or Ironmans. And here in New Zealand, we've got bugger all opportunities for athletes to actually experience that, not just the depth of people that are about the same level as you, but the frenetic nature of these 70.3s. I know if we could have stayed in Europe and raced for longer, like you say, Kate, like, we sit down here in New Zealand, we go, well, we've got 3 races to do this year. And let's hope some of them don't disappear completely, because then we're down to 2. However, if we were living in Europe, your race season is, how many times do you want to race? Do you want to do, 12 races? Every single weekend have something to do. And that does sharpen the spear a bit, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like we have a lot of choices in not just Western Australia, but in Australia. But that's next level. And just finding, like you said, Jack, or Tex, as you referred to.
we had to explain to Kate last week why we call him Tex. So for those people that haven't heard this on the podcast before, Jack's family has all of the 4 boys in the family have very interesting middle names. I think the dad got a belt in his day, went to a few countries, thought, well, I'll name my son after this country. So it is Jack Texas Moody. We shall move on.
How do you feel, Jack? My adoption, your middle name.
I'm Alpha.
So,
Yeah, there'll be counterfeit documents of me before you know it. Yeah.
But looking at the start list, Pierre Lacour was here in New Zealand, and he seems to either got sick or injured since then. And he is, he's qualified for Kona. He goes really well over the 70.3 distance. We know how good a runner he is, swimmer, and he proved that he's a pretty decent biker as well. He's back on the start list. Like I say, Marjolaine Pierre, she's going back to defend. There's going to be a whole host of other people. We've got our own Kiwi, Kyle Smith, racing there as well. So I'm looking forward to the Pro Series coming back online again and it being another race, but this is the first race in Europe, isn't it, for the Pro Series Tex?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think you're going to see like the Rico and Kyles of the point, where Kyle with a bit of a axe to grind to really try and light it up the front. And there's Hogenhaugs in that group as well. Like there's a lot of bike power with maybe not the run to back it up, compared to like your Simon Dians and some of these other guys, Pierre Lacour, to roll through. There's actually a few different ways that race will play out, which will be either everyone's sticking together on the bike, but they're running on their hands and knees, or a bit of separation, which will be quite fun.
Yeah. Laura Phillip, she didn't race a lot at all. She's been hospitalised recently with illness. But the women's start list is pretty handy as well, because Solveig Lossed's there, Imogen Simmons, Lisa Perderer, who got sick just before, I think, Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a really decent women's start list as well, isn't there, Kate?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be great. And especially, people are leading into big races in June, July. So it's a good opportunity for those that haven't raced, those in Europe, to start getting, some experience, not experience, but some races under their belts before the big Ironman events start happening.
Yeah. Well, that would be races in the middle of the year. Guy.
Wait, can we just ignore him? Can I just have some time out?
No, I just wanted to ask Jack here, like, what gear ratios will they be running then? Is it so hilly that you can't run the one by? Are they going to go two by, or most of these guys and girls just going to stick to the traditional one by?
I think that's a new
good question.
Good question. So Challenge Wanaka would be quite similar to that for those that haven't done Challenge One, and it's quite punchy. And I know. So like traditionally, for most races, I'll run like a 58 at the front and then like an 11:30 at the back on the cassette. And then for Wanaka, because it's so punchy, I switch it down to a 55, knowing that I'm going to lose a bit on the downhill, but then I can keep that big chainring over all the climbs and keep the power off the top of the climb without having to bail it out into the little chainring, just because I've kept one bike with two chainrings for the whole year. I want to be able to maintain that moment, because the lag of dropping the chain off into the little chainring, by the time you get to the top of the climb, you can't keep the power, blah, 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 blah. But I think with the advent of one by, same again, you could either go down to that 55 and keep it as the one by system, or the SRAM group set has got a wider, cluster at the back, wider cassette with 1036 or 1033. But yeah, you'll see, I'd say most will stick to a one by. There's nothing sort of in that 18-20% profile for any length or duration that's like debilitating that you wouldn't be able to power through. Like,
I don't know.
One by if you're bailing out like Bev and we're riding up some.
I was just saying, me and Kate will keep the two at the front. You powerhouses can keep go to that one by.
Although 3 times up Mont Ventoux, you wouldn't have seen the big chainring that day.
Yes, that's true. Did you guys know that I did that with Tex?
No.
Paced him 3 times up Mont Ventoux from each angle. Yeah.
2.5, actually.
Professional trainer.
Professional trainer, yes.
This is what we do now.
Is that when the big chain rings are 42 and the smalls are like a 28?
It's called a compact gear ratio, Guy. It's called compact. I took my gravel bike. Now, one thing I had to say to you guys at the beginning of this podcast, and I didn't know whether you knew this or not, but we are very fortunate to be able to give away race entries to a number of Ironman races. You pretended that you knew that, although you might have already knew that because Kate's staying with friends at the show. And we've given away a couple of race entries to those that shall remain nameless, lucky buggers.
That's right.
We did give away a race entry to the Western Sydney 70.3 to Kiwi athlete Kevin Hunt, and he had a brilliant day out there. And is one of the slightly older age groupers, finishing second, so a dominating performance by a Kiwi over at one of the Aussie races. And I caught up with Kev after the race to find out how it all unfolded. So we're going to hear from him now. So welcome back to the podcast, Kevin Hunt. You're here to talk about a pretty decent Western Sydney outing, but you and I are talking about general health for the aging male athlete. You're the athlete. I'm just the podcaster nowadays. Not easy to stop slowing down, is it?
No, it's not. No. Temptation still to get out there and do it. Yeah, absolutely.
I see you've got the Western Sydney T-shirt on. I quite like that one. Yeah, that's a pretty decent T-shirt. I quite like the colours.
It's a nice one. Yeah. I wore it the other night for a run and it actually felt really good. So,
nice. Okay, so decent swag bag with the race entry?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You were familiar with the event. Are you happy with your day out? Podium in the age group?
Yeah, very happy. Yeah, second in my age group. I'll take that any day, really. I'm not usually at the pointy end too much, and particularly in Australia, the competition tends to be a bit tougher. I think it helped that it was kind of coming at the back end of our season rather than going into a new season and over the winter for us. It's a bit harder down here to, get out and about. And I don't tend to train on a trainer inside, so I just get out when it's
rain out.
A bit cold sometimes.
Well, look, I saw some of the coverage from the event that IRONMAN put up. It looked like a pretty decent day weather-wise. You knocked out a 42-minute swim. You went under the 3 hours on the bike and a pretty solid run at the end of the day compared to, given the fact that you were taking a little bit of an Achilles niggle in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I did just on 2 hours, I think. And I did Christchurch half about 3 weeks before and just under 2. So, yeah, happy. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And it was a busy day out there. Weather-wise, it looked pretty decent, as we just mentioned before. It looked like a sellout. How did you find the race in comparison to previous years? Because it certainly looked like there was a bit of momentum out there and a bit of energy.
Yeah, no, definitely. I started late in my wave because I was obviously trying to get my wetsuit on and do all the other stuff, but I didn't miss the wave, which was good. But yeah, no, there was a heap of people out there on the grassy knoll where you line up in that, and all day it was really busy and lots of vocal support, particularly close to transition, and they changed the run course a little bit, but only just lap wise. So other than the last little bit, the last 4Ks where you got to go 2Ks down and 2Ks back where there's not many people at all. And I think I heard the winner talk about that on the podcast the other day. So, that was a bit, 4Ks to go, but you kind of run out of a whole lot of noise to nothing, and, so, but it's, it's only 4Ks and everything was cooperating pretty much body-wise. So, I think I come home pretty strong, really.
Yeah.
Happy with that.
You said what I thought was quite interesting is you don't really keep an eye on the finish results or anything like that. You only sort of had a look at it the other day.
I might look a week later or something. I don't really... Okay. Not really motivated by it, but I did check on the day just to see. I didn't wait to roll down. I ummed and ahed about it. I really wanted to go to Nice to race over there, but I've already got a trip planned over there to watch the Tour de France this year. I'm going to Nice for 3 days. So I just think about it. I really was serious, and I thought, I won't get back to Sydney till probably 6:30 or something at night. And I really wanted to catch up with my family again. So yeah.
So couldn't stay for roll down. Yeah, but like you say, like 2 trips back and forth to Europe at this time.
I did have a quick look to see how the new roll down thing.
Yep.
I wouldn't say I got it sorted in my head yet, but I was on the list.
Okay,
it helps. It must help. So I was on the list.
So you would have been offered an opportunity to go to Nice.
Talking about going back, and I've got the guy who sold me the current bike. He's keen to go.
Yep.
So next year as well. So Yeah, I'm looking at going back already. Yep.
Okay, so Western Sydney, lock it in for next year. Stay tuned to the podcast. We'll hopefully have another race entry to give away. I'm so glad that you managed to get that podium result and also go well enough to win or be offered the opportunity to go to the World Champs. So you're still obviously performing well. And as I say, if you keep listening to the podcast, you might be able to win another free entry in the future.
Give it a crack.
All right, mate. Well, thank you so much for supporting the show, and well done on the event. And we hope to catch you at a race in the future.
Yeah, no, thanks, Bevan. Thanks for the rodeo, and especially thanks to IRONMAN. It was really good. I think the organisation was great this year. It was really good.
Awesome. Great to hear.
Okay. Thanks, Bevan.
So there's 3 people here that's pretty happy with a Kiwi getting second in the men's 60-65 age group. But I do think he was beaten by an Aussie. So there you go, Kate.
I want to know if so can I enter now? I'm racing age group. So can I enter?
Of course you can enter. Yeah.
There's no conflict of interest here?
Yep. So
no, I haven't as yet.
Well, by the time we roll around to the next Ironman entry, but certainly you can get all your athletes to enter.
No, not them, just me.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just sign up to the newsletter. So basically, you just go to our website, sign up to the newsletter. There'll be a question that will be asked by Chris in the newsletter. You answer it, you go into the draw, and you'll win. It could be an ultra run. It might be an Ironman. You could win an ultra. It could be Kosciuszko, something like that. I won't see Guy's name popping up anytime soon.
My spine started hurting when you said those words.
But on that note, team, thank you again for coming on the podcast. Kate, safe travels back home. Guy, I have no idea what he's done in the 3 days that you've been away.
Nothing. He's been in bed for 2 days.
Bedridden. And this time next week, we'll be chatting not only about the races, but about a marathon. So, yeah. So hopefully we'll get some coverage from the Hawke's Bay Marathon. So
you should see me in that. Like, if you see me at the front, it would be good to put that on the podcast. It's the first 200 meters.
It would be worth getting him over there for Tex. We can get some video at least of that. That'll shut him up for a week. Right. Yeah. On that note, I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
So.